What's up, everyone? I just wanted to I want to preface this video by saying this isn't a shit talking video. This is more a video to put an end to lies, basically, I guess. Fitness industry is already full of so many disingenuous people, and this one's kind of been catching on lately, unfortunately, and it's been kind of a nuisance for myself and others who trade in a similar manner. But basically, what stemmed this video is a good friend Eric Bugenhagen and I were talking, and a lot of people keep asking us what we think of Nether Beast, Underground Shaman Muscle, whatever the fuck his full name is. Nether Beast, he often goes by. A lot of people comment asking both of us about his videos, what we think of his lifts, blah blah blah. And it was funny because we both were under the same conclusion of his recent, let's get the numbers right, an 800-pound pin squat, a 500-pound bottoms up bench off pins for the bottoms up for the squat as well, and a 1,015-pound trap bar deadlift that was kind of ghetto rigged. And we separately we both came to the conclusion that he had rigged these and they were fake, basically. Not with fake plates, but I'll go into why I think they're fake. So a big thing with these lifts is that they were just done out of nowhere. These weren't lifts he's been working on for a while. These weren't things he's done previously necessarily, or not for a long time at least. And out of nowhere he's hitting world-class elite numbers at these lifts that are very, very difficult, very technique driven lifts. Bottoms up stuff is quite a bit more difficult than just a normal bench, for example, much more difficult. One of the first things that tipped me off in these videos is the odd camera angle he decided to use for all three of them. He used basically the exact same camera angle for the squat, the bench, and the deadlift, where you can only see about 3/4 of the plate starting from the bottom to about 3/4 of the way up. For each of these instances as well, the bar was starting at different height. These weren't in the same place. The deadlift obviously was off the ground, the bench was about midway up his rack, and the squat was quite high up. And in other videos he's shown the room where he lifts, and there's plenty of fucking room to be deadlifting, to where a place where he can put the camera in a better place. And it's shown that he has some kind of tripod or something where he can angle his phone or whatever he records with. So it shouldn't be a problem to get these weird fucking angles. They're just so sketchy. In plenty of other videos, like I'll show here, he clearly films his entire lift and some of his weird rack pulls he's doing and some of his lifts he's inventing. He's clearly showing the whole lift. He's showing his setup as he walks towards the bar and as he walks away, but in all three of the bench, the deadlift, and the squat videos, he doesn't do any of those things. Another thing that kind of tipped us off was the bars moving oddly. Usually for pin squats and pin presses in general, getting the bar moving is the hardest part. Once it gets moving, the lockout's relatively simple. But for him, it's clearly the opposite. Getting it moving is hard, and it becomes harder for him to lock it out than it is the rest of it. And this basically all points that he banded all of these lifts probably very, very heavily, judging by how they moved. You can see on the deadlift video too, as he puts the bar down, the bar sways oddly, like it's bouncing on something, and normally it wouldn't do that. So now I'm kind of going to go lift by lift and explain specifically why they're fake.
Fuck yeah. Whew.
So a big thing with the deadlift is that he's standing so close to the rack, like I said before. Makes no sense to be deadlifting right there. he has plenty of room to move away from that. Where he's standing, he has to have 1 foot on the metal plate that runs under the rack, and 1 foot off of it, which would make it very imbalanced and probably super uncomfortable on his foot, I assume. He's deadlifting barefoot. Why would you do that unless you absolutely have to be in that position to make the lift? Ooh, I'm randomly inside. Another thing, you can see with the deadlift video very clearly here, the hooks in a setup video are down. You can see them kind of angled downward because, of course, the weight would force them that way. But during the lift itself, they're facing up, which is exactly where he's attaching the bands. Not that hard to figure out, really. There's a video that I'll post here where you can see him deadlifting off the floor with his trap bar, and he has maybe 5 plates, at best 6, unlikely 6, and he's struggling to get that moving off the ground, as you can see, and then he does some weird little rack pull thing with it. And if you're struggling with that much weight, there's no way you're breaking over 1,000 pounds off the ground. And if you compare his 1,015-pound supposed deadlift to, see his name, Steve Johnson, also known as Forsaken Warrior's 1,000-pound trap bar deadlift, with a Rogue trap bar, which is slightly higher handles than Nether's, you can see how much differently it moves from someone who is a credited lifter, very credible, has a long history of lifting, shows all his lists, blah, blah, blah. You can see how differently it moves.
Put this shit up! Let's go, Steve! Come on! Get that shit up! Come on, motherfucker! How bad you want it? Let's fucking go! Yeah! Yeah!
Big thing too is you can, as you watch the Forsaken Warrior deadlift, you can see the difference is the eccentric. When the Forsaken Warrior, when he puts it down, he literally passes out. There's no slow controlled eccentric. It's not something you're doing when you're deadlifting to a max. You're not doing a slow eccentric. Look at Nether's video, doing a super slow eccentric, no issue, setting it down very softly. No one's setting down 1,000 pounds softly. I'm sorry. Before he posted the video where he supposedly successfully deadlifted 1,015, he posted a fail video where his grip failed. And I'm guessing his grip failed because as he raised the bar up slightly, the bands helped a little bit less and he couldn't grip whatever weight that happened to actually be. I'm guessing, who knows, 500-ish pounds. So now onto the bench. Again, the bar is moving oddly, sways a bit in a weird manner that normally pin presses don't move. He gets it off, gets it moving very easily again, and it gets hard to lock out as it goes up because, again, he's getting less band assistance. If you compare it here to James Strickland, also known as Swim Hacks, 530 pound for 2 pin press, you can see a big difference. And now James Strickland, he's one of, if not the best raw bencher on the planet. He's gunning for soon a 700-pound bench, raw. And, I mean, just look at the two guys, come on. A big thing again here is the eccentric. If you look at James Strickland's, his eccentric is basically uncontrolled because it's not something you can control very easily. And if you look at Nether's, it's basically not struggling at all to bring it down because, again, hundreds of pounds of band tension are assisting him. And now onto a squat. And granted, this wasn't anywhere close to parallel, but still, once again, the bar's floating. It's not, bar path isn't what a normal pin squat would look like. Has trouble locking it out. So the video starts with him again squatting. Instantly when he starts squatting, he doesn't do the normal walk-in he normally does, stuff like that. Again, with like a normal Anderson squat, it's really hard to get the bar moving. That's the issue with the movement. It's getting it moving, and that's also the benefit. But getting it moving is so hard, and locking it out is relatively easy. Locking out 800 pounds isn't that hard, but he really struggles to get the lockout. Has no issue getting it off the pins. So it's not how that shit works. I'm sorry.
Off. Nice.
There's some other instances of him showing some fakeness. This picture I'll show here, he's measuring his leg, and you can see just how insanely loose he has the measuring tape. It's twisted a few times, it looks like, and it's nowhere near tight on his leg. In one of his weird alien rants where Jedis are granting him power, whatever the hell he thinks, he's talking about why he doesn't want to demonstrate his power in the big three because he'll hurt himself. And he talks about how years ago when he did a 500-pound bench, how he basically did like a neck press, almost hurt himself. So sorry guys, I know there are many fans. Some of you are fans of mine or fans of his, but this guy's just full of shit. If the craziness and the talking about Jedis and aliens wasn't enough to tip you off, he's faking all of his lifts and faking his size. And don't get me wrong, he has a well-developed upper body. You know, it's more muscular than I am, his upper body for sure. But part of that I'm sure is, I can't remember the guy's name, Louis Ball maybe? He made a YouTube video not too long ago, more or less, you know, proving that he has at least bought and reviewed pro hormones, and I'm sure it's not a far jump to imagine him taking anabolics and such. I don't want to accuse people of that, but this guy's a big faker, so fuck him. And I'll leave you on this note, to quote Nether, if you believe me, you're a can-do winner, and if you don't believe me, you're a victim hater, not doing shit with your life. So let me know what you guys think. Is he faking? Yeah, he's faking. I love you all. Thanks for watching, guys.